The roller coaster ride that is Calgary real estate can be tough to read for many of us, and that is why we count on people like our next guest, Sam Correa. Nice to see you in this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and before we get into a sneak peek of a fascinating property that's up for sale with an amazing history, I just got to get your take on what's happening right now in terms of oil prices dropping and what we can expect in terms of impact on the market over the next little while.
Absolutely. It's been a roller coaster year. We started off with in February of this year with the market having 20% inventory less than we did last year. And as a result, we saw a lot of competitive offers. We saw prices rising, and it was pretty crazy market up until about the summer. And then, of course, in about October, the oil prices dropped. We saw the market calm down. And as of today, I think certainly it's still calm,
We were talking a few days ago, and you were mentioning that you were sort of using the 2007, 2009 sort of numbers as equivalents?
Yeah, we'd look back to 2008, and of course, back at that time, oil prices were $145 a barrel.
Right.
In July of 08, and they dropped to December of 08 to 32.
Right.
Relatively, the market dropped that year about 10%. So statistically, we do kind of see there is a bit of a drop with that. But of course, there's other factors when we talk about Calgary prices and oil. There's, of course, migration rate.
Right.
There's the interest rate, of course, the mortgage rules. And, of course, all those factors are still in our favor.
Right. Okay, great stuff. Now, I had an opportunity to tour one of your properties a couple weeks ago. This is a property we don't see that often in Calgary. It's got an amazing history. Let's have a look.
Well, we're at the Heimbecker residence right now, and the history on this house is really what it's all about. Originally, it was constructed actually in Chicago in 1903, and the intent was to be moved to Winnipeg for a railroad baron at the time was going to be living here in this home. And as their plans changed, the family never moved in, and a grain exchange baron had purchased the home and moved in 1903. In 1979, the family decided to move out west from Winnipeg to Calgary, and at that point, they decided to move the property from Winnipeg to Calgary. They moved it on 14 truckloads, and every piece was cleaned, numbered, cataloged, and tagged, crated and shipped on 14 trucks. The goal was to reproduce it to a period piece. And there was 3 carpenters, I believe, here for 7 years, milling and working the house as it was.
And let's talk about some of the woodwork, because it is, not only is rare wood being used, but there's a detail that you see in this house that you just do not see anymore.
Well, most of the wood is an African mahogany, which, of course, I'm told I don't think you can purchase today. And all the wood was done by hand stain. So the sheer woodwork and the craftsmanship that was done in this house is not being done today.
Here in the master bedroom, and as like everything in this house, a nice size.
Everything in this mansion is of a grand scale. The total footprint of the house is over 9,800 square feet, and we're sitting on just under 2 acres. This space alone is 16 by 20. And in this house, we have 8 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms.
And we were talking before, that number of bathrooms, especially the number of en-suites, pretty rare in a house of this age especially.
Well, of today it's rare, of course, and a home that's 100 years old, certainly that would have been an extreme luxury. Here's just a perfect example of the home that has retained a lot of its character. We're looking right now at one of the 7 bathrooms from the early 1900s, and of course, as you can see, the engineering for the day would have been pretty cutting edge.
Whoever designed this house way back 100 years ago really liked to entertain.
This mansion was designed for entertaining. Right now we're standing in the ballroom. And what was very unique about this space is the room to my left here was originally the orchestra pit, and that's where the live band would play. And when they moved the home here in the 80s, they turned it into a bar. But it definitely has a grand space for entertaining.
And a billiard room, and that you were mentioning, that's original. That's always been the billiard room.
It's always been the billiards room, and it was redesigned, built to exact specifications, and it's actually even the original table.
It's a beautiful home. List price?
It's $3.995 million.
So that is a pretty discerning buyer will be looking to pick that up.
It is. It's actually relatively to replacement cost. It's great value. It's definitely, you couldn't build that house today for probably less than 10 million.
Right.
When you look at square footage, and the land alone is about an acre and a half.
Yeah.
It's completely rare.
And such an amazing history. Great stuff, Sam. And starting in the new year, Sam will join us every Friday at this time. We're going to check properties up for sale and get into things like how you can stage your home and how you can maximize any return on any investments you make. So we're very much looking forward to that. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Okay. Looking forward to it.
Real estate expert Sam Correa.
The Market, sponsored by Sam Correa Real Estate, marketing your home for all it's worth.